Hello and good day. This is Punchline. We are First News Nation, and on Punchline we discuss national politics and national politics. I am Sammy Ajufo. It's always my privilege to have you join us on this channel. Before we go ahead, let's invite you to all our social media handles: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as YouTube. Please take a step further, enable notifications on all these platforms so you can get latest updates on all our shows. Let's go straight into the matter. Today's conversation will be about the just concluded governorship and state House of Assembly elections that took place in over 28 states, with the exception of two that have some serious issues that had prompted INEC to declare them inconclusive: Adamawa and Kebbi states. However, we'll be discussing the 2023 governorship elections, the shocks, the upsets, the constants, the protest, and the close calls, all here on Punchline. We'll be right back. Still Sammy Ajufo. We're still talking about the governorship and state House of Assembly elections that were just concluded on the 18th of March, even though 99% of them were not announced till Sunday, Monday. Well, that's not the conversation for today. That will be for another conversation. But for this edition, we're talking about the shocks, the upsets, the protests, the constants, and the close calls across these 28 states, except for two we just mentioned, Adamawa and Kebbi states, that are still inconclusive as we speak. Now, let's talk about the shocks. In the 2023 governorship elections, which of the states' results and outcomes shocked the majority of Nigerians? We can say for a fact, Kano State. Many of us were not really surprised about Kano, talking about the NNPP and former Governor Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, whose stronghold was always Kano. And he did well in Kano State in the presidential elections, and he replicated this also in Kano State for the governorship elections. So APC under Governor Dr. Umar Ganduje has lost Kano State to the NNPP, and that was a very wide margin. NNPP secured about 1,019,602 votes as against APC's 890,705 votes to put NNPP in the governor's office in Kano State for the next 4 years, except if there is any other a tribunal hearing that says, look, this didn't happen, and awards it to the APC. However, after the results were announced, the crisis, they called for a curfew, dusk to dawn, and I think that curfew has been removed. However, Kano State now is in the firm grip of the NNPP. Abba Yusuf will be piloting affairs for Kano. That was one of the biggest upsets in the governorship election on the 18th of March. Abia State. These are the only two states that we can say shocked Nigerians with the results. After 24 years of PDP being in leadership in Umuahia, the capital city of Abia State, for the very first time, a man who has been contesting elections for quite a while, I'm talking about Dr. Alex Chioma Oti of the Labour Party, was able to defeat the PDP. Labour Party secured 175,467 to PDP's 88,529. These are the two states that shocked Nigerians to the core with their results. So for Kano State, APC has lost the state, and for Abia State, PDP has lost the state. Let's talk about states that had some upsets. We're talking about Sokoto State. In Sokoto State, APC has retaken the state, yes, with 453,661 to PDP's 404,632. We saw a video of former governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Ayo Fayose, actually celebrating the loss of the governor of Sokoto State, who was in his second tenure. I believe the candidate for PDP was his own candidate. Well, the governor of Sokoto State will probably be licking his wounds now. So APC has taken over from the PDP in Sokoto State. Benue State, also a PDP state, had been an APC state until Samuel Otom, just the incumbent governor, had moved from PDP from the APC to the PDP. Now the APC has retaken Benue State. Father Hyacinth is now the governor of Benue State. A Reverend Father who will be leading Benue State for the next 4 years. He secured 437,923 votes to defeat PDP, who only had 223,913. This was a big upset for Benue State, but the Benue State actually delivered for Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the APC in the presidential elections. We never expected that at the governorship level they'll also do the same. So kudos to the APC in Benue State. Plateau State, interestingly, the DG of the Presidential Campaign Council, Mr. Simon Lalong, lost his state to the PDP. The PDP retook Plateau State with 525,299 to APC's 481,370. Zamfara State was a PDP state before the governor Matawale moved over to the APC. Now the PDP has retaken the state, as Zamfara was able to give PDP 377,726 to APC's 311,976. Now, a young man is taking over in the Zamfara State. I believe Matawale was trying to go into his second tenure. I believe so. If not, well, PDP has taken that state over. Zamfara State voted massively for APC in the presidential election, but lost at the state government election. Let's go for a short break. We'll be right back with the constants, those we believed, well, nothing was going to change, and these actually happened. We'll be right back.
This is Nigeria.
Welcome back. It's still Punchline, and we continue with the episode on the shocks, the upsets, the protests, the constants, and of course the close calls in the governorship election just concluded March 18th. Let's talk about the states that are constant. The states we knew ruling party will dominate. Akwa Ibom State is one. The ruling party, PDP, delivered Umoino against the APC's Akanodofia and Oba. There's Obong Basi Albert of the YPP. PDP won by a very wide margin, and that's the end of that story for the opposition parties. River State saw a very, 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 very wide berth, 300 or 502, 302,000 or more for the PDP. Simi Fuba is now the governor-elect of River State on the platform of the PDP, dusting his other co-competitors on the field. Yes, and we saw that the APC's Toyin Cole was a distant second, and then you had the SDP, and then you had the Labour Party. That's what happened in River State. We all knew that PDP will make a very strong showing. Toyin Cole having issues within the APC, talking about Magnus Abe moving from the APC to the SDP, and then you have only former Governor Rotimi Amechi supporting Toyin Cole of the APC. So it was constant. We knew that PDP was going to win that particular state. In Borno State, of course, everybody expected that Professor Zulum would win, and he won by a very convincing margin against his closest rivals in the PDP and the Labour Party. These are the states we knew constant, that they're going to deliver back to the ruling party. Other northern states, Jigawa State and all those, we did see those kind of things happen in those states as well. Ebonyi State, with the strong structure the governor has created for the APC, even though he was a PDP man, the state speaker of the State House of Assembly has just clinched the seat of governor for the next 4 years on the platform of the APC. That was a constant across many northern states that were APC dominated. We did know that we're going to see a very strong showing by the ruling parties, except for the ones we recorded as upsets in Zamfara State that went to the PDP. Okay, let's move from that to the state we call close calls. If you look at the difference between the winner and the first runner-up, it wasn't so much, but it was quite significant, but not as much. Let's start with Enugu State. In Enugu State, we had a very strong, keenly contested battle between the PDP and the Labour Party. Don't forget, they had other parties. We had Uche Naji of the APC, and we had Frank Weke Jr. of the All Progressives Grand Alliance. But the two elephants in this fight was the PDP and the Labour Party. After so much back and forth, after going back to Abuja and coming back, extending the whole thing, reducing votes, increasing votes, and all that stuff, we still had the PDP beating the Labour Party by only 3,000 votes. The PDP was able to garner about 160,295 against Chijioke Edorga's Labour Party with 157,552. Very close margin. These were close calls. Many people didn't know what was going to happen at the end of the day, and then they gave an extension. Finally, it was announced. The very controversial votes from Nkanu East and Suka were the determining factors for the PDP and the Labour Party in Enugu State. So that was a very close call, the closest actually in the elections. And in Bauchi State, we had a PDP Governor, Bala Mohammed, who was battling for his political survival at a point in time. Some people suggested that he goes to the G5. Wisely, he didn't openly and publicly align with them. Then he was able to win his election in Bauchi State. We're still talking about what he was able to garner against his APC counterpart, retired Air Vice Marshal Abubakar. PDP won 525,280 against APC's 432,270. Well, almost 100,000 votes difference, but that was a very, very close call. But let's also look at the one that's closer to the PDP in Enugu State. In Kaduna State, APC, led by the Governor Nasir El-Rufai, was able to defend his party in the state by delivering 730,000 votes to win the governorship election. PDP, 719,000 votes. And that was a difference of about 16,206. These were very close calls. I'm talking about Bauchi, Kaduna, and we have Enugu. But one other interesting state was Taraba State. Taraba State was able to garner their votes for the PDP. They got 257,926 votes for the PDP. And NNPP, many people wouldn't have expected the NNPP will make a strong showing, but the NNPP did so well in Taraba State. They were able to get 202,277 votes. Very, very close call. If care was not taken, we would have seen NNPP winning its second state, but PDP was able to do so. Well, we did mention earlier that in two states in Nigeria, Adamawa and Kebbi, the results have been declared inconclusive, and we still wait for what will transpire, how that will pan out in those two states. And those are the only two states we have issues. Well, in other states that there are protests against their results, of course, the first one is the Labour Party in Lagos State. Lagos State, very controversial. Lagos State has become the hotbed of crisis, and these allegations and of bigotry, ethnic bigotry, voter suppression. We saw very unfortunate videos and instances in Lagos State that have led not just the PDP and the Labour Party to protest, but a wide variety of Nigerians, where we saw racism and tribal bigotry at its very core, very blatantly shown in Lagos State. So even though the APC, led by Babajide Sanwo-Olu in the state governor, was able to win, but there were so many protests. As a matter of fact, the PDP and the Labour Party candidates said they would not call to congratulate the governor of Lagos State and now governor-elect Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So that state is number one in the list of protest states. All right, Kaduna State. Even though Kaduna went to APC, where PDP and 7 other political parties are saying no, they disagree with the results of the elections, and they'll be going to court. Enugu State, Labour Party is protesting the outcome of the elections, especially the results emanating from Kano East local government area and Suka local government area. So they are also on the list of the states that are protesting the results of the election. Ogun State, the governorship candidate of the PDP, Adebutu, said, well, he's not congratulating Governor Dapo Abiodun of APC, who just won re-election. And they said it was marred with controversy, voter suppression, and vote rigging, as well vote buying. The APC, Tonya Cole, has rejected the results of Rivers State governorship election. That's also another state that there will be massive protest in, aside Kano State, where the NNPP won, and the APC is also protesting the results of the election. So we do know other states will also come out, especially states with very close margins, and let's see how that goes. So the shocks, the upsets, the protests, the close calls, and the constants. The 2023 governorship and the State House of Assembly election has been very colorful. As the map looks, if we look at the Southeast now, the map looks very, very colorful right now, because each state of the Southeast is now to be controlled in the next 4 years by a political party. Only the APC has 2 states, Ebonyi State and Imo State currently, Ebonyi State and Imo State. When Imo State will also have the elections very, very soon, in a few months, as well as Bayelsa State. But in the Southeast, 2 states are controlled by the APC. 1 state is controlled by the PDP, and that is Enugu State. 1 state is controlled by APGA, that's Anambra State. And 1 state is controlled by the Labour Party, which is Abia State. Let's see how it looks in other regions as we go forward with this conversation. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as YouTube. Enable notifications on all these platforms I just mentioned, so you can get latest updates on all our shows. I am Sammy Ajufo. Stay safe. We'll see you next episode.